it started. Okay. So, Abid, what were your question?
I was asking what are the languages that are being used in this application?
Okay, guys, let me set a frame for you guys so that we are not juggling here and there the technology stack, then recap, then CI/CD. Let's start with quick recap. Okay, let me. Is my screen visible? Let me know.
Yes.
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay. So this is the repo we got from them. It's a Swadesi project. So the front end is on Angular and the backend is on Node.js and the database is on MongoDB. So this is the technology stack currently they have given us for the new project. Okay. So this is the code base they have given. We have refactored it a bit. So here you can see this is front end. Code base of Angular is here. Then the backend Node.js written. We'll discuss about Docker file and all of those things. So this is the currently the structure of the project which is there. Now this is the structure, but let's recap a bit or like what we have covered so far. Okay, so in the previous session, like previous 2, 3 session, what we have discussed so far is that we need to deploy this application, whatever things we have provided on a Kubernetes cluster. So there are two architecture we have finalized. Uh, Shrikant told us to go with Kubernetes, but there are two type kind of services in AWS cloud which you can use. The one service is that ECS. It's a elastic container service you can use. It works similarly to like a Kubernetes. So in Kubernetes, in Kubernetes, what happen is that whenever you deploy a Kubernetes cluster, you have to provision a worker node. Worker nodes means these nodes where application where all of your application will be running. And then the database. This is the simple architecture. Similarly, when you deploy EKS, you have a few of the nodes running and where your application will be running. So this is the few two architecture we have discussed. And going further, basically, when you deploy any solution any orchestration engine, like Kubernetes is nothing but orchestrator engine. So you need to basically, whenever you deploy any application, there are from networking perspective in AWS or in any cloud, there is a concept called VPC or VNet or something like that. It's like a virtual network which you create so that you can deploy your resources there. So here you can see this is nothing but a VPC we have created for both the deployment. VPC for Kubernetes cluster and VPC for this ECS cluster. And when you create VPC, you create subnets. Subnets is like it's like a what you called much more bifurcated way. The when you deploy any VPC, no, so there are a list of IPs or collection of IP pools you got, but you need to bifurcate that all of those subnets or like the pool of IPs so that you can deploy that and create a public subnet and private subnet. The main differentiator here is that what or which server you want to access from your internet or anywhere in the world. So whatever resources you want to access directly from internet, you create a public subnet and you create a private subnet where you want that no one can reach. So majorly workloads and these databases will be running on private subnet. So from anywhere in the world, you cannot reach out directly to your workload and see like what all data is like there in your database or what all things are going on here. Coming to your public subnet, what workload you deploy here is that is a kind of workload like uh, load balancer kind of thing or Bastion servers you will deploy in your public subnet. Load balancer, why? Because load balancer should be like to expose your application publicly, like google.com, yahoo.com, or some kind of application like this gmail.com. All of those are public facing applications. So you need to expose that application from somewhere. So to expose those applications, uh, you need to put a load balancer in front of them. So you can see load balancer are like we have put this load balancer in public subnet because this is the public facing load balancer, so that whenever you hit google.com or something like that, or whatever your application, like it's a Swadesi bank. So let's say swadesibank.com. So it will your traffic will reach out to this public facing load balancer, and then this public facing will redirect to the corresponding workload or corresponding pod when we go much more deeper inside the Kubernetes uh, deployment and all of those things. Uh, we'll discuss much more things like how this thing happens. So similarly, this is the high level architecture of public facing, internet facing, or private subnet or public subnet. This is what we have discussed so far from the networking perspective or deployment of orchestrator engine perspective. So in this, both of these architecture, do you guys have any doubt? You can question. Any question, anyone?
No, Deepak, it's clear.
So the newcomers, like you guys, are comfortable with this subnet, public subnet, private subnet, or no, VPC?
Deepak,
You
Yes.
got the
wait, wait. I
understanding.
just want,
Yes,
yeah,
Deepak.
like, do you guys know about the resources that we used in our diagram? Like, are you aware of that and the
Yeah,
flow?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. We aware. I aware
Yes,
about
yes.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay, nice then. Yeah, you guys, please ask anything if you have any doubt. No, just ask it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so are we on the same page?
But ECS is it's a Kubernetes cluster or it's a Docker, only Docker service. VPC architecture is clear. I didn't use the ECS cluster.
Okay, forgot about ECS. I'm just gave you a high level architecture, like this kind of architecture we follow in production.
Yeah, okay.
So
Architecture
your
is
load
clear.
balancer, yeah, load balancer will be deployed on your public subnet, and there will be a case when you will be deploying load balancer. Load balancer have many more categories like application load balancer, network load balancer. There might be a case when you will be deploying that internet like load balancer internally, like in private subnet to communicate your application internally. So all those use case, but a high level, this is the way you how you deploy your application into private subnet workload, or and how you expose through load balancer, which is deployed on a subnet, which is on this public subnet. So this is what we have covered so far. One more thing, what we have covered so far is that how Kubernetes work. Uh, like any like who's ever covered like the previous session are clear. Like the new one who has joined, are you guys like comfortable with Kubernetes? Know how Kubernetes work in AWS EKS? Any familiarity, or you don't have any familiarity?
I know Kubernetes, but only like on-premise one. I have never used EKS, so I'm still learning that.
Okay, other.
Kubernetes part, I do have knowledge, but I ain't worked on that in cloud.
Okay. So I will share, I believe Ayush has shared your doc, how to create a
Yeah.
Kubernetes cluster. Morning.
Has anyone tried that? Like, tried to create EKS cluster?
Okay,
Have
let
you guys
me.
gone? Oh, yeah, please.
Uh, I did not get this document. Ayush.
Okay.
Please, can you share me on this chat? Can you able to share?
I believe it is not visible to me. Ayush, can you share? Okay, let me
Yeah.
walk you through this document. Ayush will share with you guys like this doc. So, you create this Kubernetes cluster. There are two ways. Either the first way is that you go to this AWS console. I believe all of you guys have this AWS access. Like you need to create a free tier. You got few of the credits to explore this. Okay, you guys can go and like create your own AWS account. You can come here and you can search EKS. Just go here. So this is nothing but a Kubernetes EKS AWS Elastic Container Service, which you can see. The first is that you go here and create cluster. There is a quick setup where you provide Kubernetes version. There are a lot of versions are there, and Kubernetes cluster name, then IAM role, the cluster, then node IAM, so all of this configuration you can provide from here. The another way is that AWS provide you a tool called EKSCTL. So this is the tool. This document will also share. So AWS EKSCTL. So through which you can spin Kubernetes cluster with minimum configuration in a very quick way. So this is nothing but automation they have bring. So this is the way how you do and provision all of those things. Okay. So the another thing is that let me give you a walkthrough like how you create. So basically, are you guys familiar with the key pair? Anyone? So what happen is that whenever you provision any server na in cloud, in AWS cloud or any cloud, what you create a key pair. This key pair is nothing but there is a public and private key created, and this AWS this key whenever you create, it will be shared with you from AWS cloud so that you can use this key to log in into this server. So similarly, there is a tool called the one way is that you go here, search EC2, you come here and create a key pair from this dashboard, this network security. Then you click here and then you type the name, let's say demo. Okay. You create and you will see there is a file getting downloaded. So it is saying to download me, save. So this is nothing but this is the key which I can use. And whenever I provision an EC2 instance, you come here, you basically select that key, create, launch, then let's say demo, a server which I am provisioning. And with the default configuration, you can select here demo, and then you can start the server. So basically, this means you can use to use that key to log in into this server. So this is the fundamental concept of key pair. Till here, are we guys are we on the same page? What is the
Yes.
what does this mean? So here you can see I have navigated a lot of panels. So the one way is that you go console and create. The one another way is that you just copy this command, paste, copy this command, and then you open your terminal and you just run this command. Okay, but you will before that you have to set up few things on your uh, like laptop. The first thing is that this AWS CLI. This AWS CLI you have to install in your machine, from where you can go AWS CLI. Let's say Ubuntu system or Mac. Mac you can use Breo to install. Install on Ubuntu. You can go here and they have documentation which provides you, like, this is Linux, and this is how you install and all of those things. Like, this is installation guide which you can follow for Linux, MacBook, and Windows. So this is the first step. The second step is that you need to tell this CLI command to authenticate yourself with that cloud. How your cloud will identify that this you, like, whenever I fire this command, how this will get to know, like, in which cloud or which cloud, like there are a lot of AWS account which are there in AWS infrastructure. How this AWS CLI will get to know, like, in which command I have to fire this. So for that, what you have to do, you need to authenticate yourself. But how you authenticate yourself? You authenticate yourself by going here. Whenever you create a console, you could just come here and come this security credential. I am opening this to a new tab. So just create yourself a credential from here. Create access key. You go here, command line, copy, understand, then next, then create key. Once you create a key, you will get few keys here. You just copy this key and so there are, so let me show you guys. So this is how you do. So you copy that key and you paste, like, here.
I think we need
So
to do AWS configure command, right?
yes, that's the another way. You can do AWS configure. This is the way, or what you can do, you can go here, AWS, and this is the file credential where you can put your credential.
.aws, okay.
Yeah,
Secrets.
credential. The another thing is that the more, if you want, you can just copy here and you just AWS access key, secret key, and then export. So when you export, you will be getting authenticated with AWS. So whenever this session is now bounded, like, it knows, like, what a AWS access key, secret key, like, it get exported as a OS environment variable. So after this step, when you fire this command and you copied all of those things, the thing which you got from here, access key, you have to copy this, you have to put here, then secret key, you have to copy this. Don't worry, I will remove this key after this session. This is not the best practice to showcase this thing, but I will remove this key after this session. You go here. You go here. Okay. AWS SDS get once mic is on. AWS
I don't get
SDS
it.
get caller identity. I enter this. Here you can see Deepak user 6628. And if I go here, done, continue. Here you can see 6628. So this is the account ID and this is the user. So now you can see this is the account ID. This is I am user through which I am logged in. Okay. Till here we got, like, everyone got.
Yes, I done from AWS configure and I ran those two commands, starting two commands.
So the first thing is that you go and fire this. You just go here and then you provide the privileges when you fire this. It will create a key named kubedemo in your AWS account. The another thing is that you just copy this. I will explain everything in a bit. Let's go mkdir k8s Demo. Okay, test demo. You come here, code dot Visual Studio, you can download. So currently I'm inside this. You come here, see here, this EKS. So this is the step-by-step thing which you have to follow. So I will come here and this file I have to create, and then I have to put this content here. Okay. So if you carefully see, like there, I can configure this each and everything manually, but this is the automation script through which you use EKSCTL and you can provision in a minute. So this is nothing but the name of your cluster. This is nothing but the region of your cluster where your Kubernetes cluster will be provisioned. So let's say AP South 1. AP South 1 is nothing but the Mumbai region. How you get to know about this? You come here, you come here. This is the region, AP South 1. Here I want to launch a Kubernetes cluster. You can come here and see AP South 1. Okay, so you can configure from here or you can come here and you can copy this command and just copy here. So this is the version of your Kubernetes cluster. You come here, you can see this is the version I can provision from here only. You can specify this 3.33 here also if you want to provision your version. And then the minimum size of your instances. Currently, I want to do one because you guys should also do this one because one or two because in free tier you get a limited number of servers to spin out. So currently this is quite much higher in amount. You will be failing this thing, but do this one because what will happen is that so this is nothing. Let's skip this. So currently, let's talk about this Kubernetes cluster. So behind the scene, what it will happen? Na? This will provision one worker node. Worker node means where you can now deploy your application. You can deploy two server also. How? Let's come here. How? Minimum size, maximum size, desired capacity. You can basically increase this as 2. So I want 1 as a minimum size, a maximum size as 2. Desired mean whenever I provision this whole stack, what is the amount of server I want? Either you can specify 1 or you can specify 2. So this is the way. And how much amount of volume the disk drive which is getting attached to my server is the size of this, which I have mentioned here. And then the SSH. So I want to log in into this is not the actual production setup, but I am eventually will go into production setup. So currently what I am provisioning here, this server is getting provisioned in public so that you can SSH into any server. So this is the configuration I have done here, but you can do this like you can configure this thing or you can tweak this thing by reading this documentation of EKSCTL. Here you can come in networking part VPC and you can read there are a lot of configuration which you can see. I can come here and here you can see public, private, what subnet. You can also specify your subnet. So this is the configuration I have put. So according to your architecture, what architecture you want to plan. So all of this thing you can do, read about this. So how you increase your knowledge is that you just go like everything and everything, like everything is like no one knows everything. So that's how you read the documentation and you tweak according to your use case and you research about that. So this is the way how you do cluster access. So all of those configuration, currently this configuration is quite basic standard, but I am telling you the way how you configure this thing. EKSCTL you can use. So till here, are you guys clear? Then this is much more advanced thing, but let's start first with this only, like how to provision. Till here, like you guys are compatible here, whatever configuration I have told the server. This is a pretty much basic
Yes.
EKS setup.
Deepak,
Yeah.
Deepak, I have one question. We have created EC2 instance, and are we configuring the Kubernetes cluster in that EC2 instance? Is it correct, or is there any deviation?
No, so let me. So I don't know if I have that diagram. So when you, I believe if few of you guys have worked on self-managed Kubernetes cluster, so what will happen is that Kubernetes has a architecture. There is a call master control plane. So this is where your control plane, like all of your management process will be running, and this is worker node. Worker node where your actual application will be running.
Pod is running, yeah.
Okay. So basically what EKS is nothing but a managed Kubernetes service, AWS EKS. So what they have like solved is that in self-managed, there are a lot of process which you have to manage in control plane. So they have abstracted this out and out of the picture. Now what you have to do, you have to just deploy your application in worker node. Behind the scene, whatever Kubernetes API call, kubectl apply dot deployment file, whatever things you will be calling, it will send this to control plane. The control plane running on AWS infrastructure, but everything, every process which is running here will be managed by AWS. You don't have to manage this. You only have the visibility of this, the worker node of EC2 instance, like the nodes which are running actually on your AWS account.
Got it.
Okay. Okay. Then what you do? Yes. So currently I'm here. If you see here, so what is the next step? The next step is that you come here, you copy. The next step I have done, EKSCTL create this. So this is what you have to do. Enter. So if you have a right privileges, you will be able to connect in a few, like it will take, AWS takes a lot of time. So you have to wait this to getting provision. So behind the scene, what happened is that AWS EKSCTL, they have written a wrapper. So you can just come here, cloud formation. So behind the scene that EKSCTL will create a cluster through CloudFormation. CloudFormation is AWS own infrastructure as a code templating kind of engine. So they have generated through this configuration, what they have done, they have generated an infrastructure as a code and they have put this here and now they are provisioning your resources and you can see your resources here. If I refresh this, here you can see EKS demo. Here you can come, EKS demo. This is the cluster name. Got it? And behind the scene, it will do all of those configuration changes, whatever things is required to make this cluster up. Yes, no,
Yes, Deepak, अभी तो clear है.
Rust.
Oh, yes, it is clear.
Okay.
I am doing alongside, I am getting error. It
Sorry?
says I am doing the same commands in my laptop. It is giving me error at the time of EKSCTL create
What error?
cluster.
What error?
Key pair already cannot find EC2 key pair.
Okay, so you have not created this key pair, this one, the first command.
First command I have created and it is reflecting in my downloads folder.
Okay. Can you share your screen?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, it is visible.
So I'm in my
Okay, hey,
downloads folder.
wait. Go up.
I
Okay. Yeah.
clear the history.
Can you go to .aws?
Uh,
cd.aws. cd, just cd. Yeah. No. Just type cd, enter. Then go to cd.aws.
yes.
ls. So this will get created in your home directory. Cat config. So by default, your region is AP South 1. Copy that the
Access
file
keys.
which I have, the file which I have given. Go to that file. That EKS whole configuration, no? Yeah. You have to no. Second one, EKS cluster YAML. So you have to change the region here only because you can like
Okay.
open your AWS console. If you see your AWS console, na, your key got created by default on your what you say AP South 1 region. But here, like you are trying to configure your cluster on another region. So this is few of the mismatch happen. This is I have given on purpose so that you can debug.
So do I need to create EKS
So,
cluster YAML file
no,
again?
no, just copy that YAML file and change the region in the manifest.
Okay, I need to go to downloads first. The file is in downloads.
Yeah, go.
So I need to come back from .aws.
CD. Yeah, just do CD, enter. CD downloads, tab, ls.
Here it is.
Yeah, code dot. Just open this on in Visual Studio Code.
This is Visual Studio Code. I'm Vim EKS.
Can you go to left side? Can you edit this file? Okay, you need to edit here. This US East 1, AP South 1 you have to do. Because this, if you carefully see the public key name, which I have provided here, the whole configuration will run with the perspective of that US East 1 region. So yeah, this stack is trying to find out where is this public key in that region, but in that region you haven't created this public key.
So public key, I need to edit it now. Like remove this and
No. You have created public key,
this.
but you have created in another region, AP South 1. Now this
Okay,
whole
only.
stack will run. Yeah, this whole stack will come up on AP South 1 region. Just
So only thing is, I need to edit a region.
yeah, you have put a one dot extra there, so you need to be very much careful while editing this. I would recommend just edit with this. Yeah, add-on
Where?
policy. Add-on policy. You have put one more extra dot with add-on policies. I am below I am.
Where is it? Below metadata step automatically. Below I am.
Yeah, yes, this one. Two dots you have created.
The one dot. Okay.
Yeah. Now you will run. This will run.
So I need to run that command now. EKS cluster
Yeah.
or this thing.
Also, have you changed that CPU desired to 1 month?
Yes,
Minimum,
this
maximum. Yeah.
minimum size I did 1, maximum
Yeah.
2 I did,
Yeah.
and this is
Desired.
1 I did.
Yeah. So this you have to do because in if you are running free tier, they will not allow to spin a lot of cluster. So now see, now they are provisioning.
Correct. So I have
Okay.
tried US region before.
Okay. So that's how you debug. You need to be very much careful while provisioning, while firing
Thank
any
you.
command. Yeah.
Thank you, Deepak.
Yeah. So this will create your Kubernetes cluster. This is the recap, and this is the new thing, new project which we have to do. So from CI/CD part, I believe Ayush can give you high level overview.
One more suggestion I want to give, like if it will be really helpful if you guys explain in a kind of a project way, like application and then project way. It will be easy to understand. That's
Yeah,
my
that's what
suggestion.
I am trying to do. But this is the basic. I believe not everyone is knowing this service. If
Correct.
they don't know this service, it will be they will not get to know what high level things we are doing.
Understood.
I got your point, like from project perspective, how you do this thing.
We're taking example of
Okay.
Flipkart.com, Amazon.com, or any.com. That's how does that things flows.
Okay. So basically in GitHub Action, no, I can show you what you say. So similarly, here you can see, okay, it is creating Kubernetes. So once
Screen
this
is not
whole thing,
visible.
okay. Hmm, where is this going? So once this whole stack will be up now, you can see your Kubernetes cluster running, and there is a file called kubeconfig which will got created in behind the scene where you can file. Basically this is nothing but your home directory. You can just go cube, you come cd.cube. So here your configuration file will be there. Here your kube config will be there. Kube config is nothing but your configuration file through which you interact with Kubernetes EKS cluster. So when you create any manifest, you can deploy that manifest in your Kubernetes cluster. Behind the scene, you have on this kubectl is nothing but a utility through which you can interact with your Kubernetes cluster, which is getting deployed on your AWS cloud. Okay. So this utility you will be using to interact with your Kubernetes cluster. When you provision this EKSCTL and all of those configuration, you have provision. So EKSCTL, what behind the scene it will does is that it will create this kubeconfig file and inject kubeconfig inside this for you. So now this kubeconfig will contain all of the certificates. I can get config. Yeah, this is the certificate and all of those details which is required to connect with Kubernetes cluster. This is doing his work. So this is what happened. So what will happen is that GitHub action organization backend. So this is the GitHub, like whenever you create your GitHub now, this is the GitHub panel you will be seeing. And this is nothing but your GitHub action, which you will be using. This GitHub action is will help you to automate your task. Like whenever developer commits a new code, so this action will run. You can configure this thing manually, or you can automate this thing like whenever you merge any two command and all of those things you can do. Uh, but on a high level, you do this. Then when you do this, so there are certain checks whenever their application is running. Now, let's say this is Swadesi project which we are working here. So you need to build this backend. So build this backend. So let's talk about this project first, then we'll go to CI/CD. So this is the project we got. This is the front end. This is the back end, JPMC bank. Then this is the Docker Compose file. You don't have to look into this, but the main thing is that this Docker file. Uh, so this Docker file, this manifest is doing nothing but creating an image, like packing up all of those uh, like application code and binary, and then you just create a Docker file like what port it should be running and how to start this application on any inside any container. So this is the manifest file you write to create a Docker file. And then when you build your Docker file, how you build your Docker is that, let me start this Docker. So in AWS, there is a service. If you see ECR, ECR is nothing but a service that contain image of your Docker file. See here, the image is here. Image is here, and then you deploy this particular image in your Kubernetes cluster, and it will be running on your Kubernetes cluster. So that's how you do. You can use Docker Hub too, but enterprise and like in production scenario, like any if you are working in an organization, they will not mostly be not be using this Docker uh, hub. Mostly, if they are into this AWS environment, they will be using this ECR. ECR is nothing but container registry, where you build your image and you push your image there. Okay. So if you see the code base here, so it is provisioning the stack. How much? Okay. Node group. It is provisioning node group. Here, come here, and you can see your cluster here, creating the node group come to here. In a while, you will be seeing node group. Node group is nothing but your worker node will be visible from here. Like a EC2 instance will be running. And you can see here node group and nodes here, like the single VM which will be running. So that is the way it takes a lot of time. But let's let me come to CD document CD download, and then Swadesi. So this, let's go to backend JP. If you see here Docker file. So basically, whenever, so you need to deploy this application, this backend or whatever the front end. The first thing is that you need to create a Docker image. How you create a Docker image is that Docker build -t, then let's take this as JPMC bank version 1, and then the path. So now this will start creating a Docker image. Docker images is how you check. If you see here, a Docker image got created here. but you need to push this into ECR. The flow is that first thing is that you need to push this into ECR. So let's create a new repository. How you create a new repository? Just go here and you need to type the name of Docker repository. Then you just go here, private like repository ECR. ECR is the service, AWS ECR. This you have to CR ECR container registry. You just go here, click, and then you create a new repository. You just come here and click, and then there is a new repository got created, but you need to log in into this repository. How? They have provided the documentation. This is how you log in. The first step is that you just copy this, and if you do fire this command, so now you will be logged in into the ECR. See here, logged in succeeded. The another thing is that you build this. This thing we have done. We have built this. Okay. The another thing is that you go here and do this. So this is the latest tag which is created, but this tag we need to modify because we have created this through v1. Are you guys getting what I'm doing? So now if I do this Docker images, see here this I have created another tag of name this. So why I have created, because I want to push this. If I do this, since I am logged in into an AWS authenticated, the flow is clear. So now this is pushing this Docker image to my AWS account. The backend is getting pushed. If you come here, see,
The name should be V1, right, instead of latest.
no, but I have tagged him, retagged him. No?
Latest.
Here you can see, here you can see the in local it is here, but I am tagging this into this latest one. You can do V1 here. So when you push this, you will see V1 here. So like this
So
way
after
you can
tagging
do.
also, it shows a new image. If it's a Docker image, it shows tag image also.
If you are do this, now you will see V1. V1 is the latest one, and that's why it is. You can tag another. Let's do V2. Docker push V2. If you see, I believe I have choose the option to override. You can basically, whenever you create a repository, no, mutable, immutable. So you need to choose this. So it will create a different tags. So that's how you create a new Docker image and you push at a high level. But why we are creating this? Because the reason is, here is my Kubernetes cluster. Okay. Okay, here. So what happened is that you have now pushed your image to your ECR. So when now you have to deploy this. So whatever thing I have done manually is being done through automation. How automation? Here you can see, I want to show you a sample code. In CI/CD session, we'll discuss this. So if you see carefully here, this is nothing but a GitHub action code got created. So what it is doing, on branch. So basically I have created a branch and I have put this in option. So all of those things you don't need to remember. You just go to GitHub action documentation. Like we can go tomorrow, like all of those walkthrough, but at a high level, what it is doing. Currently, you can see I am doing everything manually here. So in production or in enterprise, like whenever any organization you will be working, there is automation, everything is automated. So this CI/CD will also get automated. So here it is doing nothing but a branch choice parameter I have done. So you can choose which branch you need to deploy. So then ECR select. So I have done this ECR login I have to do. So this is the parameter I have given. So now what this GitHub action will do is that it will provision a new Ubuntu system behind the scene on GitHub infrastructure, and then it will just check out this existing code and then configure AWS credential, whatever thing I have done there, .aws, then pasting credential and all of those things. So this thing will cover like in CI/CD. So here you can see there is no secret key access key I have hard coded here, because if the secret key access key you will code in your like code, it will, there is a high chance that it will got leaked. So that's why it is variabilized. Now another thing is that now do ECR logging. The third thing which I have done, ECR logging. This thing here you can see this one, this command. So behind the scene it is doing that. Then what it is doing, it is basically, there is a logic I have written. So what it will do, it will increment the params, like don't go into logic, like all of those commands, but behind the scene, what it is doing, it is fetching the last tag, whatever tag I have put, and then increment it by one and then push it to ECR. So here V2 is there, but in the next run, you will see V3, V4, V5. So that's how you create CI/CD pipeline. And this is the flow. But on a deeper note, we'll cover this on a separate section, but at a high level, this thing happen. So this is a flow of whole, like whatever thing we have covered so far. This is the architecture overview. It is still creating. So till here, like we are clear, like whatever things I have told you guys, look here, it is still creating. It takes a lot of time, so you need to be very patient while creating. It is creating node, and then it will provision EC2 instance, and then provisioning, attaching it to your cluster. All of those things will happen. Okay, so I believe the people who's ever having this doubt, how this document look like, this is the whole way. So after once you cluster got provision, we fire this command, and you will be seeing like nodes, EC2 instance will be listed in your console. So you need to copy this and you need to fire this command on your laptop, and you will see like clusters, nodes, you will be able to see all of those things. And then you don't keep the cluster running. You can destroy the cluster through this command, but make sure like this time you will be following where your cluster is actually deployed. So you can specify from here and then the cluster name. So this is how you do. This is the walkthrough of like provisioning of Kubernetes cluster through EKSCTL and high level project overview, what all technology stack and this Docker file, how you will push through automation. So is this clear so far?
Yes, Deepak. Deepak, I have one question. How many branches are there in this for this project in GitHub?
This is actually the branch I have shown. This is my personal project. Currently, we have not pushed this into any GitHub. Will ask with
Yeah, we'll post that. Yeah.
Shrikant, and we'll push that so that you guys can clone this. Currently, this project is not fully working in working condition. We bring up this, I believe, tomorrow only. So something it looks like this only. So they see bank front end, but currently it is not fully functional. So we have given few feedbacks to the team. So they will be working. But at a high level, this is how you will be doing.
Got it. Got
If no one has any doubt, we can wrap it up and you guys can practice this. We'll share few more assignment tomorrow and we'll continue.
Deepak, can you share the document? I do not have that.
Ayush will share. I also can't share from here. I
Yeah.
don't have access.
Actually, I've shared it in the WhatsApp group. Are you not part of the group?
Let me check. Just a moment.
I've shared it in the date cell.
I have also shared in chat, Teams chat.
Okay, anything else?
Nothing much, Deepak. Thank you so much.
Okay. Okay, I think then we can wrap up. If no one has any doubt. Okay, thanks, team. Thanks, everyone.